I said, God damn!
Say it. Sing it again.
I said, God damn!
That's good. I like it.
We saw Conjuring 2.
Ricola.
The Conjuring 2, directed by James Wans. You saw the first Conjuring, a lot of people liked it. They liked that shit a lot. Is the Conjuring 2 scary?
Okay, The Conjuring scared the fuck out of me, the first one,
Didn't scare me that bad, but that shit just doesn't scare me that
much.
much.
Well, I get scared. I don't like scary stuff, but I do like scary stuff, so it's weird. The Conjuring 2...
You do that earplug thing, man. When they do the music... I've seen you do it in the theater before, man. That music comes on and they're about to turn around the corner and something scary's about to happen, you'll turn...
Let me show you what I do, okay? I'm going to show you...
This.
This is the technique. There's 3. You do this. You do this. Okay, this is one. This is the masquerade mask. Or you do the one where you put your feet up on the recliner and you're like... Oh, and you try to look at the floor, or you act like you're sleeping so your date doesn't know that you're fucking like scared. Like you're just like, oh, this movie sucks, I'm tired. I tried to do that. There's moments that there's a lot of jumpy parts in this movie. That's what I fucking jump parts get me no matter what. I get scared, like I get it. But I tried to look at the floor, but this
jump scare.
Fuck it, but I try to look at the floor, and this eye is like it like detached itself to fucking look at the screen because the screen we saw was so fucking big you can't just not see it. Yeah. But the story. Besides the jump scares, besides all the other stuff going on, this is basically, you know, as the trailer points out, the Amityville of London.
It's Ghost, bitch!
Yeah, they have to call the Ghostbusters in, and they don't want to do it because it's Paul Feig.
It actually starts out, you get a little bit of actual Amityville stuff going on. That's where the thing
starts.
I
love that. That part was cool.
And Lorraine Warren has a great line in there. She's like, I don't want to ever get that close to hell again. And then eventually what happens is the infield poltergeist happens, the infield haunting or whatever. They go across over to London, and there's this little kid who likes biscuits a lot. That little kid loves fucking biscuits.
And by the way, I didn't know what a biscuit was in England.
It's a cookie.
I know. I thought it was like biscuits. Like, why is she cooking you fucking biscuits like that early? Like you want to fucking...
I don't think you cook the biscuits. I think you buy the biscuits.
No, you buy them if they're cookies.
You get those shitty like holiday tray cookies and they're like wafers almost. Yeah. I think that's what biscuits are. I don't know. I'm not in fucking London.
I don't know.
They did take a little bit. This movie takes a little bit, guys, from. It felt like they were influenced a touch by the Babadook.
You said that. Shut up. Spit that dick out. Oh damn! He cagged it.
There goes the dick. But yeah, there's a family in London. It's a mom, just like kind of like the Babadook. I'm not saying they ripped off the Babadook, but it has some of that feel to it. And there's one demonic situation which involves a Babadook-like creature.
I'll just say that. I will say about that. That creature was fucking scary. Yeah. Overall, the story itself, like, okay, I don't want to give anything away, okay, at all. But look, they concentrate a lot on the relationship, love part of the Warrens, rather than the overall scope of the horror that was happening around them.
And there's 2 different stories going on here, and sometimes it loses its pacing. Like sometimes it gets kind of boring because you get really involved in one story for a second, and right when it feels like stuff's about to ratchet up and get really scary, they'll pop back out, and now it's Ed and Lorraine, now it's his family, and then they finally tie them together, and then there's another story that happens in there. So there's a lot going on here, and it felt like this was James Wan's way of saying goodbye to these characters.
Like his swan song.
Yeah, he wanted to give Ed and Lorraine this big send-off, and I felt like he focused too much on that because the audience is mainly there, number one, most important thing, to be scared the fuck out of, and sometimes the movie takes too long to get there.
It's a solid movie, but it feels very sequel-ish. I mean, The Conjuring was so good by itself, The Conjuring being what it is, was amazing, and then you have Conjuring 2, it feels sequel-ish. Yeah. Like, it feels like a sequel to The Conjuring, and by the way, I'm just gonna let you know that I did get scared a few times. I cried out, and I said, oh God, oh God. And,
I did too. You're not fucking lying.
I know, I'll admit it to you.
You kept taking me out of it, dude, because there'd be like I'm like, oh shit, there's some scary shit about to happen. And then something actually kind of scary would happen. I'd be like, I've been raptured by it. I'm ready to take it from fucking DEFCON 7 to DEFCON 10. And then all of a sudden, Shay go, oh God, don't do it. And you take me right the fuck out of it, man. You keep talking.
Well, if you'd held my hand, it would.
I'm not going to hold your fucking hand, man. So, but yeah, no, there was moments. This movie does have moments in it. It's got certain moments. If you remember the Darth Maul character from Insidious.
That sounds like
it's Insidious about butt crust.
Oh my God.
Skid Mark Insidious.
Crustation without representation.
there's a character in this that perfect James Wan style.
That's like the greatest.
There's an Insidious character that reminds you of Darth Maul from Insidious. There's one character in the movie, there's a painting, you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it, that is actually fucking terrifyingly frightening. And every time they would bring that part up, I would actually get scared again. For the most part, for me, it's hard to scare me in a movie theater. It's really hard for me to get scared at a horror movie, especially with the James Wan type of thing. And that's what this is. If you like James Wan movies, if they scare you, or however you felt about every James Wan movie that came before, it's more the same. He's taking shit that's been done before, but he's throwing at you in droves. bogged down a little bit by an overreaching story that takes a little bit too long. There's some scares, but some really boring parts. For me, ultimately, The Conjuring 2, if you love The Conjuring and if you love James Wans style of shit, you're gonna love this movie. It's about the same. For me, it falls out to a 6.5 because they never just fucking got me good. It's just never, it never actually turned, there'd be a scary moment and then it would just fall away, and then a scary moment would come up and I just got bored waiting in between. And the story was just, it's way too simple for how complicated they made it. So 6.5 for me. It was a good movie, but it's not fucking the horror sequel to end all horror sequels like they're trying to act like it is.
I'm right on board. 6.5 as well. There are moments that are good. There are moments that are fucking truly terrifying, like, as far as jump scares go. And they did make characters, or demonic characters, that like stick with you when you leave the theater. You think about it, you're like, wow, that's fucking scary. Especially when you're driving back on a dark road, you're like, what if she just like stood there on the side of the road? You don't want that to happen. And the music's good. Like, I like the atmosphere. Like, sometimes the atmosphere really cranked it up where you actually got in the moment of what was going on in the movie. But then, like we said, when they take you out of it and then you're just sitting in a home and you're on like leather seats and you're talking about your life, you're just like, okay, so are we in Pride and Prejudice? Like, it just didn't feel, it just got really boring at those moments. It's kind of like this. When you're married or you're with your girl or whatever and you want to have sex and you're really excited about it, like, this prospect makes you feel delighted. And, you know, it's afternoon delight and you run in there and you're fucking ready for her to go and you're like, you know what, honey, I have a headache. You're like, what the f-? And you've already been naked.
They're slow burn suspenseful, and that's what you want in a horror movie. You want them to build up the creepiness before they fucking fuck you up the ass with the scares.
Why do you use a fist?
Oh, it's a deep
Ooh, that's a fucking deep.
That's the kind of horror.
That's the kind that you need to go talk about
you
later.
You just want it to pound you. In a horror movie, in a horror movie, in a movie. But no, there's two kinds of deep burn. There's the Halloween deep burn, which is fucking creepy and it's scary and you know something's gonna happen, and then when it does, it makes you shit your pants. And then there's the other. Then there's this. It's a slow burn. But the slow burn's not focused on the creepiness. It's focused on Ed and Lorraine. It's focused on this family. It's focused on way too much other stuff. What's your rating for it?
6.5.
We both give it a 6.5. It's not a terrible horror movie. It's better than most of the stuff that comes out. It's the typical James Wan stuff. It's nothing a whole lot of new or anything like that. There's a lot of problems with the stories. I'd say if you're a fan of The Conjuring, fan of James Wan, definitely go see it. But don't believe the hype necessarily. It's nothing that new. There's nothing new really in it at all. It's not the best horror sequel of all time. Like I saw a couple of the reviews said, and I think it's being a little bit overhyped, but it's still a decent movie. Go see it if you're a fan of The Conjuring and shit. We love your goddamn faces.
And besides loving your faces, here's a quick question for you, because we had a debate about it. Like, you stared at, like, you're gonna like challenge them to a fight. You want to fight? What is the considered by you guys the best horror sequel that's ever come out? Like, we were actually trying to figure that out. Like, Scream 2, I mean, no, it's not. I'm saying you said Scream 2.
It's a serviceable sequel.
It's serviceable.
Yeah, there's not a lot of great horror sequels. Evil Dead 2 is the best one I can think of. So, comment down below, let us know what's your favorite horror sequel of all time. We love your fucking faces. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn wham up in you.
Ripley.
I'm gonna pass out.
Like Alien, dude.